Hello folks, and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Yeah, let us make a quick introduction. I will try really. Tomorrow is a big day. Not for me, and maybe not for many of you, but tomorrow they will release some really important data, at least everyone is talking about, and with bullish expectations. CPI, the yearly one, the CPI monthly for December, and the core CPI. Because both could give us a nice overview, or at least a nice view, what is happening related to inflation. And many flipped extremely to bullish because, of course, the inflation will nuke, and that's it will not be the case. It can go down 0.3, 0.4, maybe 0.5%. That's a good sign, but not good enough. Fed is pissed off, absolutely pissed off, and that's why I just showed some. Well, I tweeted something like, for example, from Bloomberg, something. I read Bloomberg, but I'm not really a fan of them. But however, Fed officials have tuned more hawkish because investors are not listening to their warnings. And that's what I said just in the past. That's the big problem they see, that the markets are ignoring them. And that's really a huge problem. It's not about, it's not personal. It's because they see the big problem that's coming to them. So labor market, it's something that's absolutely important for the Fed, like the monetary stability. So at the same time, we are seeing that the markets are going up, while at the same time, companies are announcing, for example, Twitter laid off 75% of employees. Apple hiring freeze. Amazon laid off 17,000 employees. Goldman Sachs laid off 8% of employees. Meta laid off 13% of employees. Coinbase laid off 20% of employees. Intel laid off 20% of employees, and so on and so forth. Do you think that makes the Fed happy while they see what they are doing in the markets? I don't think so, because what they are doing is to force the Fed to change their monetary policy, and that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. So yes, they are pissed off, and yes, that sounds like a little bit like a fight announcement. So hey, you want to piss me off? Okay, let us play. Fed's boastic. Would be fair to say Fed is willing to overshoot. I mean, yeah, you can ignore all these signals. You can do it. But you will not make any money with that. Maybe you will have some really bad nights because of that. I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't do it. But I'm not your financial advisor. Another thing that's a big problem and almost nobody is talking about: non-bank lenders. Well, you can imagine, while the interest rates were extremely low, also non-bank lenders provided credit to companies, for example. But these companies, these non-bank lenders, are private companies that don't have directly, for example, access to central bank money. And we have a big problem here, because these guys have accumulated a lot of money, of debts, because, I mean, if you park your liquidity, it's dead liquidity. It's not working. Liquidity, money, has to work 24/7. That's why I'm a big fan of DeFi and yields. Even I'm not shilling any kind of DeFi projects. The only one, and I did that several times, is Change, because I like Change, I like Fusion. Well, yeah, many of you know. So I'm getting my yield there. And however, these guys have accumulated in 2021 $239 billion US dollars. And of course, a lot of this money is not in their safe. They spread this money to different clients, while banks only 180 billions. The problem now, interest rates are going up, and you can imagine what happens to hedge funds, private equity companies, because if they are sucking capital from the markets, that's what they need. So they are already underwater. They are really, really big and red. That's what also the mainstream media, Bloomberg and some economic magazines have mentioned in the last few weeks, that they are making big, big loss. And that's another big problem they have. But just to stop rising the interest rates, to let the inflation go up again, it's not an option. So of course the Fed is pissed. I can imagine that the central bankers are pissed. I mean, we don't need to discuss about that. We all know that central bankers did a very bad job in the past. They let the printers just work too long. And many companies, and I know that very well, have adjusted their business to the cheap money. They knew it's not a problem to get capital. The only big risk they had is if the company or products they are investing in are not good enough, and maybe they will create some risk, like, it will fail, for example. Like any kind of invest can happen. That's a usual risk. But now they have a different risk, a much bigger one. And yeah, that's a huge red flag. And as I mentioned in the past, 2022 is just a little shadow of what we will see in 2023. Be bullish short term. That's fine. I mean, even I'm missing it because I don't care. But I would be extremely careful, because I'm reading a lot of bullish things of people thinking we can see 60K, 70K, 80K, 100K, and as mentioned, investing.com, an article by a BTC Maxi telling that Bitcoin could go to 1 million in short term. Come on. Markets are just a concentration of liquidity. Less capital circulating in economies means as well less liquidity in markets. I don't need to study economics to understand that. But it seems even those who studied economics are ignoring these facts. However, I said it's going to be a quick introduction. Well, that's inspo quick. So it just takes 20 minutes. I think we have talked about a lot of things, and I'm still I can even imagine that the CPI tomorrow is going to be bullish, meaning it will go down, and these guys will even nuke the markets afterwards. It wouldn't surprise me, because the only thing what these guys are doing, and I know that just because of I can't tell you every detail, but I can tell you that many banks have missed to unload their portfolios between 2020 and today. Their portfolios are really filled. And I hope you remember what I said last year. That was in April or something, in an analysis. The first thing what companies will do when they see a lot of red flags is to reduce stuff. And that's what they are doing. They are reducing stuff, and they will reduce even more stuff. And of course, that will bring inflation down, because jobless people can consume less. And that's a simple math. It's sad, but unfortunately, it seems that's what we are going to have. And sometimes I think well deserved. Because when I see how people are ignoring the facts they are in front of them, sometimes I think you deserve this slap. I'm so sorry to say that, but yeah. I really hope that many of you stay tuned, and as mentioned so many times, don't trade what I say, just trade my data, what I'm providing. And be extremely careful, because this year is not going to be a good one. Absolutely not. Let us go and talk about weights ratio and so on. So I'm going to stop this chapter now. That's going to be an initial comment. So if you don't want to hear it, just skip it and go forward to the analysis. So let us talk about weights ratio, and let us try to figure out together what we can expect tomorrow. In my opinion, a little bit as expected. I have said I wouldn't expect anything big today, because everything is just waiting of what can happen tomorrow. So let us go forward. Let us see the first thing here. First of all, the weights ratio, you remember what I said? Maybe it peaked and we should go down. Well, it bounced back to go up. So it's retested that area here. So it went back to the almost 27%. And that's huge, indicating that whales are still sending bigger amounts to centralized exchanges. We can see here as well, we went down to 51 and now we are up back to 55. If we take a look to the weights ratio 30 hours moving average, that looks a little bit, how I can say, different. Let us check. First of all, as you can see, it's not dumping anymore that low. Instead, it's going up. It's going up, 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 up. That means we didn't reach even 80 and the weights ratio 30 hours moving average, and it seems it wants to go up. Not big, not hard. It's just pushing up a little bit more, indicating the sell pressure has started to increase. That's something we need to see. What happens next? At the moment, the highest weights ratio was 93. That was high, and you can see what happens afterwards. The price started to go down, while the dump just went to 72 and not anymore to 50 or even lower, like just in the last recent days. For example, since end of December, for example. If we take a look, for example, also here, the weights ratio 30 hours moving average, every time when it went up, it went down to bounce at 75. Right now, it seems it's doing something like we had just before. It's going up. It didn't went down to 75. Instead, it seems it wants to bounce at 81 to go up. I guess it will maintain there for a while, maintaining a certain sell pressure, because in my opinion, what we can expect tomorrow, we know we have a huge gamma wall at 17.5. So it wouldn't surprise me if they want to maintain a current price between 17.5, push up tomorrow with the CPI, just to have a bull trap, so break the 17.5, maybe to 17.6, 76.5, and then afterwards dump. I would be extremely careful. Another thing that doesn't make still doesn't make me really bullish. Today the price action was looking different. You remember those two candles yesterday? I was really surprised. That was the first bullish sign since a while where I said, oh, okay, these guys really want to know it. So it wasn't bad, but it didn't happen since then anymore. However, what's happening here is that, for example, we are still, the stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges declined and still is lower than in October. We had even in November a higher one, you remember, and that's where we started to go up, and we went to 18,400 before we went down, and since then it's going up while the stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges, well, it went up just a little bit, but nothing big, absolutely nothing big. We just had such kind of peaks every time close before we went even more up. But it's also indicating it's taking more liquidity to push up more the price, indicating the sell pressure is rising. Also confirmed by the Wales ratio 30 hours moving average. So I would be extremely careful. However, if you see an opportunity to use maybe this break to 17.5, why not? It's up to you. Let us go forward. So let us talk about flow activity and what's happening there. First of all, stablecoins flat. Since yesterday, you remember, we had extremely high, even the day before, really high stablecoin activity, a lot of inflows, but a lot of outflows. So everything above of 17,200, it seems, triggered a sell pressure. And that's where it looks like bulls stopped to push up very hard, like they did just before. At the same time, and that it seems it's the case, we can see all these bitcoins outflowed. So also something that it's not making me, it's not wondering me, because as mentioned, I was expecting that a little bit, because it looks like a preparation. So they distribute a little bit, while the price is going up, but at the same time they are just preparing to unload at a higher level. Of course, they know CPI will, I guess, generate some volatility. So a perfect moment to unload your bitcoins if you want to sell them. And it seems, I mean, all these bitcoins are not just smoke. So it seems they are really interested to sell bitcoins at 75. Let us say even 17.7 or something. I wouldn't expect anything much more. I said, I think yesterday, if I'm not sure, because sometimes I have some chats with other people. I guess I said that, but I'm not really sure, that I don't think we are going to touch 18. I really don't think we will do it, because 75 looks extremely solid. The only thing I can imagine is we will see if we will have for tomorrow a gamma wall at 17.5 or maybe 18. If that's the case, it is possible to go up to 18, and that could be the big bull trap, because after 18 down. But that's something, the gamma wall is not the Bible. We need to consider it, and we should add more informations to all that. But however, it's something we should have in mind. Anyway, all these bitcoins are not reflected here, so indicating as well that these guys are doing something, hiding their next move. I would be also here extremely careful. But as mentioned, since yesterday, no, not even yesterday, yeah, since yesterday, they stopped sending more stablecoins. Instead, we had some cash outs, but also here nothing big, and that's it. That's absolutely it. The only thing we had here, for example, that was a difference to that here, is that in this case here, bears tried to push the price down, and instead bulls pushed more up with success. So right now it's declining while the volume is lifting up once again. We will see how the whole thing is going to end. In my opinion, we will maintain that level. We will maintain at the moment, I guess, until tomorrow something like 17, 17.5, maybe 73. Maybe we can go a little bit more down and then more up. But everything is focused on what will happen tomorrow. So we will see. Let us go forward. So, future market. Let us talk about the future market. Well, first of all, if we zoom out, we can see, let me turn off this one. Yeah, everything else is needed. So, that's exchange reserves on derivatives. Okay, yeah, I forgot. So that's declining. We can see that's the stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges on derivatives. It's declining. Open interest is lifting up. Leverage ratio is lifting up, and funding rate is maintains the trend. Nothing has changed really. You remember where I said, it looks like they want to break it to the downside. No, it's not happening. It maintains. So also indicating here at the moment they are still, I'm not sure if it's let me check if we can see that. Is that neutral? Yeah, but lifting up, indicating they are demanding more longs at the moment. Nothing big. And even related to stablecoins and derivative exchanges, nothing, really nothing. We had today, that was midnight in Central European time, 220 millions. Otherwise, here 150 millions. That's peanuts. As mentioned many times, that's really peanuts. But at the same time, not big cash outs as well. So 150 millions, and that's it. That was just few hours ago. The same happening to Bitcoin. Bitcoins related to derivative exchanges. It seems quick, really quick operations. So we receive 1,358 Bitcoins, and then close afterwards, it seems, outflow of 1,500 Bitcoins. The same here, 1,200 Bitcoins inflows, and then 1,100 Bitcoins outflows. That's what the derivative exchanges are indicating. Also here, nothing big, absolutely nothing big. I don't know. I mean, we had a little bit more yesterday than today, and I guess that explains very well why the open interest is declining once again. Let us check what my dog is drinking water. Great. With Phoenicia, everything will change a little bit. I will have my own studio then, without any kind of dogs in the background or whatever. So let us go forward. Funding rate, as mentioned, that's the aggregated, still with this positive trend even after the pump and dump and the funding rate. But if we check where it was just in October, in December, in November, for example, it went up, indicating they are demanding more longs. If we check the open interest right now, pushing up, but we are so far away from levels we had just before. We are reaching at the moment a level we had in June, mid of June, and afterwards it lifted up before we dumped, and then it went down. So it's pushing up, leverage ratio is pushing up. So many people talked, yeah, that's going to be a huge short squeeze because So many shorts are there. They will wreck all of them. Well, let us take a look. That was 3 days ago. 900 bitcoins in shorts liquidated, 61 in longs liquidated. Next one. That's January 9th. 880 bitcoins in shorts liquidated, 140 bitcoins in longs liquidated. Well, the price is going up. I mean, yeah, it declined, but nothing big. Next one, that was actually yesterday. 560 bitcoins liquidated in shorts and only 28 in longs. That's it. That's it. So, I mean, we did almost, let me check. We did, I mean, we don't need to talk about November, but let us take, for example, December 13th. We did almost $1,000. And we know that many of them are using high leverage positions. That's it. That's absolutely it. And that matches very well to what we have seen yesterday in the Kingfisher liquidation map. By the way, that's going to be, no, not the next one, because it's going to be Binance perp chart, but just soon. So we can see what Binance is doing. They started to decline in funding rate. You remember, funding rate declined. Now it's bouncing, it's going up, while the price from here declined a little bit, nothing big, and right now it tries to go up once again. So yeah, it's, I mean, I wouldn't say that makes sense, because they started to short from here. That means at 17,200 or something. So they are not in green yet, not many of them. However, open interest, as you can see, since here lifted up with a leverage ratio and right now declining. So, but also here we are not talking about a huge step. Absolutely not. We are talking January 5th, we had 2,360,000, 2,360,000,000, and now 2,600,000,000. So almost 300 millions more. It's not that big, maybe 10% or something. So let us take a look to the blockchain whispers, and blockchain whispers is indicating that shorts are coming in, something where I would say they will liquidate them. That's why I also think that they will push up before they dump, another leg up before we go down, maybe as mentioned 17.7. I really, at the moment, I have my doubts that we can make 18k, but we will see. I mean, we will check later on some charts I have prepared with some TA to refresh and update that. I'm not doing that really frequently. I know that many TA specialists out there, they are taking a look every 5 minutes and updating it. I'm not doing it, because my main approach is to trade with on-chain data. And if we check that, we can see 46 to 44. So it's in at the moment in favor of the shorts, and I guess these guys, part of them will disappear after we make another leg up, because I guess some of them are high leverage shorts. Related to Ethereum, it looks even worse. We are talking about 39 to 61, indicating they are really bearish on Ethereum at the moment. Shorts on Bitfinex, I think, declined a little bit. We had 38 yesterday, or 36. I'm not sure, but I don't care about Bitfinex anyway. So it's sometimes it's just nice to see what they are doing, but that's it. So let us take a look to the liquidation map of the Kingfisher. And here we go. Okay, nothing have changed since yesterday. We still have this, I mean, we still have 50 million liquidations. 50 million liquidations, as you can see here. That's the maximum. So if we see a bar going to here, we know that this bar has 50 millions in liquidation. That's a lot. So what we are seeing here is we have here maybe 18 millions in liquidations. But the biggest liquidation cluster is right now close to our current price. It's the same like yesterday. If they want to liquidate, then they need to go down. It doesn't make sense to go up. Really not. Otherwise, they need to push up really hard, hitting 19,500, even 20k. And even then, they are not going to liquidate as much as if they let the price go down. So it depends on them if they want to liquidate all of them. We have here a liquidation cluster between 17k and 16,400. And the next one for the shorts would be 19,500 to almost, yeah, I would say 19,700. Even then, if they want to liquidate really big, they need to go even higher, hitting 26k something. We will see if we can do something, because, you know, I'm not a fan of straight up. I'm not a fan of straight down. Absolutely not. So what I'm expecting for 2023 is almost what we have seen in 2022. We will go up, we will have a downward trend, something like a channel, we will retest the upper trend line, and then we will flip and we will go even lower than before. That's what I would expect for equities. That's what I would expect for equities and crypto. But something we need to see. I guess we will use we will need to use a higher time frame to make such kind of swing trades, and then see what's going to happen. Is it possible, like many option traders were expecting, to see the price at 23k? Yeah. I mean, why not? It's not that far. We are talking then about $6,000. But the whole market works only with capital. So while the Fed will continue to reduce capital, circulating capital in the economy. So we will see, but I guess, yes, it will depend on many things, really on many things. But is it possible? I think personal opinion, thinks, yeah, it can happen. That we go maybe 20, 21, 22, and then go even lower, hitting again to 16, 15, and even lower. Something also here, I'm not a big fan of extremes. I don't like all these 100k, 1 million up only, Bitcoin to the moon, but I have my problems to think that Bitcoin could go lower than 10,000, to be honest. Even 10,000 is really, it hurts to me. I don't know, but it's my personal opinion. And I'm not really good in forecasting bottoms and so on and so forth. So it's just my opinion. Well, let us go forward. So let us talk about if we can figure out what is happening to the market. And it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. But the only chart here that looks once again like a copy of the spot price is this one here. That's not possible. That's just not possible. Doesn't make any sense. Really any sense. But it means, I mean, if we would have a really low volume, I would say, okay, that makes sense. But it's not the case. I mean, yeah, we have, compared to other weeks and months, a lower volume. But it's not that low. That's really crazy. However, we can check that here and see what is happening. And we can see that Binance, for example, is still doing the same. I mean, Why the price is going up, market traders declining. Someone asked me, who are the market traders? Well, market traders can be everyone. That can be you, that can be me, when we are not using, for example, any kind of orders, for example, just to trigger our order. Instead, we just want to sell to the next best price, and that's the market. So who is doing it? Well, we have algos, for example, working, and these algos use both. These algos use market trades, but also orders, for example. They just create orders, get triggered, and so on and so forth. So mainly, in many of them, like for example, also skew 50k or 52k mentioned, it seems that the algos are selling, and that explains why also the market traders are showing here distribution. Even the aggregated one pushed up and distributed afterwards. The only thing that still looks extremely bullish is futures. Futures going up all the time. So it seems they want once again to liquidate late shorts. That's what they love to do. Why we doesn't have any peak in volume at the moment. We will see how far they want to go. If they want to push to 17.5, I can imagine that they want to break it today, to be honest, but that's something we will see. However, let us go forward. That's Bitfinex. Bitfinex down, absolutely down, nothing big. We are talking about almost 800 bitcoins, but down. If we check Kraken went up, and since the top, it seems here, they started to decline. That's also here indicating more distribution. Why algos? All what you see here are algos. Do you see 0.05? 0.05? That was algos. Everything algos. That's algos trading what you are seeing here. 114, look that. 114 bitcoins at once sold. At once. Otherwise, algos are using really tiny orders, as you can see, and they are pushing. It's so stupid. I mean, we have CPI tomorrow, but they want to liquidate more shorts, and it's just, well, doesn't matter. However, Kraken, you can see what they are doing. They are distributing. So these guys here, Bybit, not doing anything. Really, absolutely nothing since we reached the level here at 17,200. That's it. If we check here, for example, it's the same. I mean, Coinbase push up. They are not even distributing. They are just pushing up. Not bad at all, because we are talking about 2,400 bitcoins in just a few days. So not that bad. The same Bitstamp. Bitstamp only up. They just know only up, and as you see, they are pushing up even more. If we take a look here, for example, we can check this here, and we can see that Gimini almost also up. They are at least this one's looks really accurate what they are doing. So pushing up, reduced a little bit like the chart is showing, then pushed a little bit more up, distributed, and now pushing once again. Like Gimini would be the main driver here, but it's not. I mean, the volume, it's almost, yeah, it's really tiny. Let us go forward and check what these guys are doing. First of all, retailers, maintaining. These guys here, reducing a little bit their balances. They have wallets 1 to 10 bitcoins. These guys here pushing up more. They have 10 to 100 bitcoins. These guys here not doing anything. Market maker not doing anything. And these guys here declining a little bit, but nothing, almost nothing. So really absolutely nothing to see here. If we take a look, let me refresh the site. We can see something soon. I need the market maker. Let me, okay. So you can see once again what the market maker is doing is pure distribution. Send here another 500 Bitcoins. The price goes down. Afterwards, they push up very hard. I guess to decline afterwards once again, just to trap and to kill all these late shorts with high leverage, because those people here thought, okay, it's time now to go down. Instead, they push once up. In my opinion, we will not go from here directly up to the moon. We will see. Let us go forward. Also here, you remember that's here the chart where it's indicating the balances on centralized exchanges, so the Bitcoin balances on centralized exchanges. Market activity declining more. Still, I mean, that's crazy. Maintains while miners getting more Bitcoins. So their reserves are getting more Bitcoins. And they have started to send more Bitcoins to centralized exchanges as well. Nothing big, but they have started. And here, to be honest, OTCs at the moment, let us see if we can, it takes a little bit. Okay, now they started, yeah, once again, it seems that OTCs just have one goal, is to sell. Because every time we have, it's declining afterwards, like here, for example. So centralized exchanges declining, now pushing up once again. That's why the price went up, because they are using algos on centralized exchanges, so it makes sense. And here they reduced, they sold. And you can see also here that Coinbase is extremely active at the moment. I'm really still surprised that FTX is still active here, really. At the moment at 0, so indicating no funds indicated here, but you know. So that was once again, and you have seen that in action, what happened. I mean, that's mainly a big part of it. It's pure algo trading, what they are doing. It's pure algo trading. They generate FOMO, but the biggest thing was really those 114 Bitcoin at once. That's really a rare thing, to be honest. So let us see. Look, I mean, that we are talking about that's Bitfinex. That's not Binance. Let us check Binance. No, nothing. That was really a big guy. Not even 10 Bitcoins. And that's everything. 1 Bitcoin. Everything above of 1 Bitcoin. Selling. A little bit buy. Come on, give me some more data. Now buying. Pushing up. Then selling again. 5 Bitcoins to push up. And so on and so forth. So if you, for example, if you are using this one, for example, Coinanalyze to take a look what the algos are doing, the best thing you can do is check if you can see some patterns. If you see, for example, some amounts here that looks really equal. For example, I don't know, I can see now, for example, this one. 1.14426, 1.144, and so on and so forth. And you have 3, 4 in a row. Then you know it's an algo. It works much better because algos use really tiny amounts usually, and not 140 Bitcoins, for example. That's really uncommon to see 100 Bitcoins like we have seen, but that's how it works. They push up with tiny amounts, and when retailers jump in, boom, 100 Bitcoins down. That's how it works, how distribution looks like for them. So Okay, let us go forward and to the next chapter. So let us see what Coinbase is doing. Well, first of all, Coinbase have introduced a wall at 18K at the moment, and we have much more more above. Let us take a look to the 1-day time frame, because then we can see even in a better way what's happening. And it looks really similar to what I have seen related to Binance. You can see that here they are removing a lot of liquidity. I mean, that makes sense, but why to introduce liquidity all there? You know, that's something, it doesn't make any sense. The first thing you learn when you are trading is, if you have some money and you place your money somewhere where it's not making any gain, it's that money. It doesn't make any sense. It's like toilet paper. It's just waiting to get well, it doesn't matter. However, but yeah, so also here, and we will see, they are doing exactly the same like Binance. For me, it doesn't make sense, really not, but that's what they are doing, exactly the same. Just remember this chart here. Instead, they are placing more to the downside. And we are talking below 10,000. That's crazy. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So, at the same time, we have here now at 15K some walls. They reduced here, and they placed here at 16.5 and so on and so forth. Otherwise, of course, 19K, 20K, 22.5. Okay, they are a little bit older, all these, but you can see that. Let us go forward. Deribit. What is Deribit doing? Oh, let us use the 1-day time frame. Why not? That makes sense. Well, first of all, I didn't see that. Wow, they are waiting to short at between 28 and 30K. Yeah, why not? However, we can see that they are waiting too long at 30,800 and 30,500. Otherwise, nothing. No, otherwise nothing. The next one would be at 19 or something. So Bitstamp. Let us talk about Bitstamp. What is Bitstamp doing? Well, Bitstamp, at least not doing the same. Yes, they introduced here, but it's a long time ago when we reached the new level here at 15K, 15.7. Nothing have changed here, really nothing. To the upside, 18K and 79. That's the only thing I can see, but even that doesn't look like, but this one, 18K, looks like a wall. They triggered all the sell orders here at 17.5, for example. But also here we don't see anything more. Still waiting here between 14 and 13. Binance. Let us check what Binance is doing. Well, first of all, you remember what Coinbase did? Now look that. Exactly the same. They are removing all the liquidity here, even more lower here, and they are pushing liquidity here. And that's something, it doesn't make sense for me. Why? I mean, we are talking a price below of 10K, and I don't get why. Why would you do that? If you are not expecting to see a crash, I mean, we are not talking here about Binance US with low volume, and we remember a smart Bitcoin seller just nuked the Binance USD price to 8,500. That was 2021, I guess. It's Binance.com. It's Binance BTC USDT. It's a high volume marketplace. Why should you do that? if you're not expecting that the price could make such a crash. I don't know. I really don't know. But they were reducing liquidity to the downside, like we are done here, up only, but in such case you don't need to park your liquidity there. It doesn't make any sense to me. However, also here these guys are waiting. So let us see. They are protecting everything above of 17,500 once again. Of course, they triggered the 17.5 order, sell order. That's what they did. They triggered every single sell order they had. Every single one. I mean, just check here the volume. It's everything. It's negative. It's negative. The volume delta is always negative. We had here a negative volume delta of 38 bitcoins. Okay, peanuts. The next one, 350 minutes, peanuts. The next one, 870 bitcoins negative. Okay. Next one, 1,500 bitcoins negative. Okay. Next, 760 bitcoins negative. 1,300 bitcoins negative. 750 bitcoins negative. 2,700 bitcoins negative, 2,600 bitcoins negative. Can you tell me why these guys are selling while the price is going up? I mean, would you sell if we are going to moon next? But you see less green volume bars and a lot of red. On Binance, welcome to the bears. However, you can see that at the moment they have started to protect prices between 17.3 and 17,150. We can go even lower, 17k. At the same time, they are protecting, of course, 17.5 until, well, I would say even until 18k. So they need to trigger all these orders, sell orders, if they want to go and to push up. Of course, we have even more higher, 18,500 if you want. So it would be also possible. The question is, does that make sense for them? I guess not. But we will see. We really will see what's going to happen then. Let us go to the next one. Bitfinex. What is Bitfinex doing? Well, Bitfinex is, I don't know, but you can see a lot of sell orders. They much more than buy orders. They are really, if you check that, it's pure distribution what they are doing, and it's crazy. I mean, every time it happens, always the same. And they had here also a bigger sell wall. We triggered some and then we nuked. So yeah, we need to see what's going to happen here next. But as you see, they are protecting wall to the upside. So if you want to go up, no problem, just buy all my bitcoins. OKEX spot, nothing. It's a good idea to use the 1 day time frame. Sometimes I'm so retarded. We can see what Kraken is doing. Kraken is limiting at 79. At the moment 17.5 and a little bit more, but doing exactly the same like Binance, also limiting to the downside. So yeah, they say, okay, you can go to 79, but that's it. We will see. Bybit. Let us take a look to Bybit. What is Bybit doing? Nothing. BitMEX. What is BitMEX doing? Nothing. No, nothing. I don't see. Well, that looks like a wall, and another one it's 17.3. So as mentioned, they are not going to let the price go down first. It will take a little bit because they will wait for tomorrow's CPI. Binance futures. What is happening here? Well, it looks different to the spot, but also here at the moment they are placing more shorts all the way up. Also here they triggered every single big short order, every single one. That's what they are doing at the moment. And yeah, the price is going up more, even trying now to push up above of 17,500. We are even above of 17,500. So we will see if they can push up more. In my opinion, it doesn't make sense. Absolutely, it doesn't make sense. It would make more sense if you are really bullish just to maintain 17,000 below of 17,500, wait for tomorrow and then push up very hard, but we will see. However, the next bigger short order is at 19,900. The next bigger long order at 16K. Otherwise, a lot here. That's trash. I don't know who is doing it, but whoever. Let us go to Bitfinex derivatives. Bitfinex derivatives, at the moment, they are limiting the way down at 17,400. So if, no, that's not a wall. No, it's not a wall. Sorry, it's not a wall. As you can see, bling, bling, flash, flash. The only wall here would be at 16,900. That's the only one. That's 174 Bitcoins. Yeah, that's peanuts. So nothing here. And to the downside, only at 11,000. So that's it. Also here, nothing to see. Kraken futures. Kraken futures, the biggest long one, it's at 10,130. Otherwise, 10,800. And also here you can see some limitations to the downside, but nothing big. So I don't see here a wall at 16.5, here another at 16.9, and that's it. To the upside, we don't have anything at the moment. OKEX futures. OKEX futures at 9,000 and 8,000, and that's not even a wall. And that's it. Okay. OKEX swap. What is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, OKEX swap. We remember they are still waiting here at 19,000, almost 20,000. And Bybit BTC USDT, nothing. Okay, that's it. Let us go forward.